Good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be with you this evening and discuss the holiday survival guide. Can you believe that we are only about a week, almost a week away? Next Thursday will be Thanksgiving. Can you believe that, Deborah?
Unbelievable.
So we want to be able to add value to your lives so that as we navigate the holiday season, that you will be well equipped to be able to move through it with peace. Now, Deborah is going to be talking to us about the holiday survival guide. And before she begins, I want to tell you all the amazing things about her. There are so many amazing things that she has been doing. Deborah Lee is a Christian woman psychotherapist as well as a coach. She teaches women to command and own their worth. She does it courageously and unapologetically, become their best authentic selves, and attract relationships that fit and complement their values and their vision. Deborah is a prophetess and a licensed professional counselor, clinical alcohol drug counselor. Her professional experience spans from all levels of childhood education, school counseling, employment training, and religious spaces. Her impact includes, but it's not limited to, family reunification, women's mental health, health and safety in relationships, and women's careers training. She also facilitates a monthly pep talk for women that have been challenging. I'm sorry. She also facilitates a monthly pep talk for women that have been life changing for several generations. So I welcome you. I'm so excited to have you with us this evening. And I'm going to pass the torch to you. Welcome, Miss Deborah Lee.
Well, thank you, Jackie. It's an honor to be here. It's a privilege to be here, and I don't take it for granted. And so I'm excited to share Holiday Survival Guide as God gave it to me. So we can hopefully manage the challenges and the stresses of the holidays and do well and create amazing memories for our families and friends and even our neighbors. So, first, what we do know is that it can be demanding. There's influence with family. There's traveling that has to go on. And sometimes there's unrealistic expectations. And so I think we need to be clear about what we're walking into, even though our intention is to have a really, really good time. We've got to remember that there's got to be acceptance of who everyone already is. And also, the hope is that there's forgiveness that has gone on throughout the year, just different things that happen within any relationship, that we have forgiven others so that we're not carrying anything with us. Because this is what I know: out of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if there's been no forgiveness and my buttons are pushed, the only thing that's coming out of my mouth is not going to be favorable because I never forgave and I never accepted the fact that this particular issue happened, and I didn't make a decision to grow from it from maybe last Thanksgiving or last Christmas. And so the hope is that we come to the table, so to speak, with a clean slate, ready to enjoy the holidays and not repeat some issues that happened last time. And then we have losses that we've incurred, a family that's no longer with us. And how do we acknowledge them and their legacy? Some people will put a seat at the table for them. Some will make even a banner of memories in terms of who has transitioned. And so we do want to honor those people, and we also want to make sure that we're in a good space to celebrate their legacy, that we're not carrying too much grief around, and we'll talk about that, and that we're not too anxious. And the hope is because they're being remembered, it'll help us to warm our hearts from those memories. So, preparation is needed for every single issue that I've already discussed. And the hope is that, at work, sometimes we're standing around the cooler before Thanksgiving, and we know that we've got to travel. And we know that we may meet up with some family members, and the last time we were in their company, maybe it wasn't as favorable as we wanted it to be. But we made a decision sometimes out of a need that we have. Well, I'm going because of Aunt Susie's sweet potato pie, right? Or grandma's stuffing. Nobody makes it like grandma. Well, we don't want to ignore these issues that I've already mentioned just to go for the pie and the stuffing. We want it to be a fun time that we have, and we do want to enjoy those wonderful recipes, those traditional recipes, but we want to have fun while we're doing that. And so we're going to go to the next thing that we're going to talk about, the side dish that everyone needs. Each person may have specific needs and need to be clear on what they can provide to make this a wonderful and memorable experience for everyone. So we need to be clear in terms of our capacity. So, yes, if we make a commitment to bring whatever dish, then we need to stick to our word. We need to keep our word. If we make a decision, the next one, it talks about agreeing on what meal each person is capable of and can be responsible for contributing, then we need to keep our word because someone's relying on whatever it is that we said we could bring. And we can sometimes, it's like, okay, I'm bringing cranberry sauce. Okay. Nobody wants stuffing without cranberry sauce. Most people don't want it. It's a big part of Thanksgiving. So you want to make sure that you show up. Even if you end up being late, just show up with the cranberry sauce. Let everyone know I'm running late, but I'm coming with the cranberry sauce. And they will hold the time for you because there's no rush. I know sometimes we get caught up in we're going to sit at 2 p.m., but sometimes someone may get caught in traffic. The flight might be delayed somewhat, but we've got to remember that we're trying to do this as a collective unit, so to speak. Assigned activities. Who's good at what? Try not to be you for the holiday and try to do something you've never done before. Right? Assigned activities. Who's good at what? Who likes playing Scrabble? Because everybody might not want to play Scrabble. What's the best game to play? Is it Monopoly? Is it Scruples? And sometimes we need to take a survey. Hopefully we have time, even though Thanksgiving is already coming next week. Hopefully we have time to take a survey to know what everyone enjoys or set up different tables. Who wants to play Monopoly? Who wants to play Scrabble? Who wants to play spades? Can't leave the cards out of this, right? So you want to make sure that you know what everyone enjoys so that you can avoid some assumptions. We know what it means to assume, right? You make something out of me and you. So we don't want assumptions. We want this to go well. And so we want to be able to manage and steward the day or the time together. In order to do that, you must adopt or own a mindset that we are gathering to create a joyful memory that supports our happiness that we already established. The hope is that we know we are responsible for our own happiness, that we're not looking to get happy at Thanksgiving. We want to walk in happy. We want to walk in somewhat free in a good space. And so that the festivities will add to and support the happiness that we already have achieved. That's the hope. And if that hasn't happened, hopefully you'll do the due diligence of having a conversation with either family members or friends before you arrive so that you can be your best self, bring your best attitude, bring some cheer in, some excitement about the fellowship and breaking bread together. And so we're going to go and see what else we have after this side dish that everyone needs. It's so important to know, what are you thankful for? I often share with people, I know for me, I can't be grateful enough. However grateful I am today, I know there's more gratitude that I can gain tomorrow. The gratitude and the humility. I often say the humble stick is lowered. You know that stick? that you wiggle underneath and they lower it.
Hmm.
Well, that stick gets lower before I get up every morning. It's lower. It's lower because I need more humility and the gratitude. The jar is never going to be full. So, what are you thankful for? And that's the hope of what you bring to the table. What are you thankful for? I think it's wise to start off with an icebreaker or, if you will, a warm up. In addition, you may be able to add an affirmation for each person and how come you were looking forward to seeing them again. And that may be a stretch, but you need a warm up or an icebreaker. You need something so that you've cleared the air of anything, maybe even from last year, that maybe didn't do well. And maybe some faces you haven't seen in a while, or sometimes new faces, because maybe somebody got engaged during the year and this is their first Thanksgiving with you. Maybe someone has new friends or a new coworker even because sometimes people are single and they have no family nearby. So you may have felt that it was important to invite them to Thanksgiving and they said yes. And so we want to make sure that they agreed it properly as well. The hope is that you establish rules of engagement that will garner a healthy and happy time of fellowship. Like things that maybe didn't go that well last year, hopefully you resolve that, whatever that is. Even if you didn't get a chance to talk to a family member, hopefully in your heart of hearts, you resolved it and you're so looking forward to a different experience this year. And don't forget to get support ahead of time to properly steward your spending because we can overspend even for Thanksgiving. And we can certainly, everything's out for Christmas already. So the hope is that you're stewarding how you spend. You're coming to the table with some idea of how you're going to eat. Okay. So some people are in the gym now, today, this week, and the weekend getting ready for Thanksgiving because they don't want to hold back. I think that's a good plan. Prepare ahead of time. You know that Thanksgiving can be somewhere between 3 and 5 pounds.
Hmm.
Now, you don't want to be there with a sour face, just tiptoeing and dipping and stuff, a little tablespoon here and a teaspoon here because you're concerned about the scale. The hope, we're presenting this now. The hope is that you will use some tools before you get to the turkey and the stuffing and everything else. Again, going back to the emotions, hopefully they've been stewarded well. And time, making sure you don't feel so pressured for time, even as you travel, that you want to get to dinner on time, but you don't want to feel stressed about it. You don't want to encounter any kind of your own road rage. Some people, something that they're working on. So you want to steward well so that you can enjoy the old and the new traditions. And sometimes you need help in each of these areas. Sometimes you need help with spending. So it's good to maybe have a budget. Sometimes you need help in eating. So it's good maybe to, prior to the holidays, make a decision about what you may have to eat more of, maybe more salads and vegetables, and maybe less of maybe your favorite sweets. Because when you get to Thanksgiving, somebody made a sweet potato pie, somebody made an apple pie, somebody made a pumpkin pie, somebody made rhubarb, somebody made mincemeat. I heard somebody mention that last week. There's pie and there's a 3-layer chocolate cake. And there's my mother-in-law used to make this coconut, oh my goodness, this coconut lemon 7-layer cake. Oh my goodness. It was like, oh my goodness, can I handle all this? And all of the food was so good. So the hope is that, what you're going into, which is unusual because it's just this time of year, Thanksgiving. And so you don't want to overdo it in any area that you have learned how to steward well just because it's Thanksgiving and because Christmas is around the corner. Emotions, get support for that. Get support. It's okay to have someone to talk to, a professional. It's okay to even talk to your friends. about what is emotional for you coming into the holidays. And it could be emotions from grief and some anxiety because my great great grandmother is no longer here. I remember I remember the year that my aunt moved to California, and Thanksgiving was so different, so different. And I don't even know that we've gotten it back to that, but we've managed to get it to something that works for us. And time, again, get help. Have somebody help you to be accountable. Make sure that if you're traveling that you've packed almost already, or what I do is I make a list of what I need to pack. That way I don't have to think about it when I'm packing. I could just put everything from the list where it needs to go. Remember to include the spiritual and the cultural reasons for the holidays, especially for the children, because this is new for them. We are their witness, we're their mentor, we're their guide. We are who they're looking at to see how they're going to do this when they're on their own, how they're going to do this when they're in college and they're coming home for Thanksgiving break and they are holiday and they know what to expect. And they get excited because they carry this with them moving forward. So they are ready to learn how to be in college, be in another state, and come home for Thanksgiving and be excited about it. And so hopefully we approach it too as little children and we get to enjoy it. And don't forget to celebrate the wins in and for the family, also known as the accomplishments, to hear how well we are doing as a family. The hope is that that's the thread, that each person's win adds value to the family legacy. Each person's win is teaching the children who we are. We are the Lees. We are the Evans. We are the Joneses. We are the Smiths. We are the Rochfords. We are the Moores. Whomever we may be, we are the Doolittles. This is what we do. This is what we represent. This is what we look forward to in the busyness of the year, that we look forward to coming together to celebrate and eat good food from recipes from our ancestors, sometimes recipes from coworkers, but we get to come together and feast together and also feast in a way that shows God that we're grateful and that we're thankful.
Oh my, what amazing information. And we are definitely well equipped to survive the holiday. You took us all the way through Christmas. These tips will get us through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and well prepared for New Year's Eve. So I definitely appreciate all these tips. You reminded us that there are demands of during the holiday. We have to deal with traveling. Definitely want to make sure we don't have unrealistic expectations and be accepting those things that we can control and those things that we can't control.
Amen.
So this we talked about the side dishes. Make sure that you pick something that you can make, that you can prepare. Don't put no pressure. Don't try to step out and do something you can't do. If you never made a sweet potato pie, Thanksgiving, Christmas, that's not the time to do that.
That's right.
I love that you reminded us to even extend grace. Sometimes someone may be late, the flight might be late. I know sometimes we have those set times. We're going to eat at 4:00 and 4:01, somebody is getting upset because we haven't started eating at 4:00. So we want to be able to extend grace to one another. You told us to be responsible for our own happiness. Oh my world, that's a mouthful right there. And you told us that we should be thankful, identify rules of engagement. Oh my world. So we want to make sure we have clear expectation how we're going to conduct ourselves. I like that one. And I really love the spiritual and cultural reason for the holiday, to pass that down to the children so that next generation can carry the torch, so they can make their own traditions, but incorporate the things that we've already shared with them. That is really good. And then celebrating our wins as a family.
Yeah.
Oh my, that is just really, really awesome. when you do all that, you leave so excited and so in a good space. Even if you came sad, and you had a heavy heart, when you begin to talk about the wins and what we're all doing well, and complimenting each other and being thankful for each other. I heard a lady at church, she mentioned that when they get around the table, they tell each other something that they like about each other.
There you go.
You name like 2 or 3 things, I love your smile.
Mhm.
I love that you're always great with the children. I love your sweet potato pie.
Mhm.
We just want to be able to shed life, in each other's lives. So this is a great time of the year, a great time to be happy, but we definitely don't want to be sensitive to the ones who are having a difficult time. I love the way you talked about how to deal with the losses in the family, celebrating, creating meals, creating banners, doing things to honor them as well. So I'm loving that you gave a slide so we can go back and we can go down these lists and
Mhm.
remind ourselves of all these gems that you just given us today. So Deborah, I definitely thank you. Now, somebody might want to contact you. How can they reach out to you that may want some help or some counseling or coaching? You got a lot of good stuff going on.
You can reach out to iamdeborahlee.com. And I just want to remind everyone, I just love what you just did, Jackie, to bring it all together. Stay connected. Stay connected. It's so easy to disconnect. And I've learned we don't always have to be friends in the family, but the hope is that we're able to communicate, to stay connected, because it is God's intention that we stay connected. And I think often we don't realize that we're living under something that's not of God when we can't stay connected, is how I choose to say that today.
Wow. She just dropped another gem, guys. I'm telling you. I am so grateful for this time. I'm so grateful for these tips and tools that you've given us. And if you guys want to talk a little bit more about, celebrating holidays and how you can get through the holidays, definitely feel free to reach out to me at navigatelife28@yahoo.com. And we definitely can have a conversation. And if you feel like you need some deeper counseling or to go a little bit deeper in getting through the holidays, I can definitely recommend you to an amazing person. That would be Deborah Lee. So again, I thank you guys. Have an amazing holiday and a great evening. Good night.
Bye.